Welcome to HD Rare Coins 111, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. We journey back to the early 1970s, an era when America was changing rapidly, and the Jefferson nickel stood as a small but powerful piece of the country's history. Among these, the 1972 Jefferson 5-cent nickel carries a tale of beauty, precision, and mystery that continues to fascinate collectors even today. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, was designed to honor Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers and the author of the Declaration of Independence. The coin's obverse side proudly displays his portrait, while the reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, an architectural masterpiece that reflects his brilliance. By 1972, the U.S. Mint had already produced billions of Jefferson nickels, yet something about this year's coin stands out. Minted at 3 major locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the 1972 nickels differ slightly in quality and appearance. Some bear subtle variations and minting errors that transform ordinary coins into treasures worth small fortunes. When you look closely at a 1972 nickel, you might notice the smooth profile of Jefferson's face, his calm expression, and the fine detailing of his hair and clothing. But not all 1972 nickels were struck perfectly, and that's where the story gets interesting. Some coins were minted with double die errors, off-center strikes, or weak details that make them incredibly rare and sought after. Collectors often look for the 1972 Jefferson nickel with strong details on Monticello, where the steps are fully visible and sharp. These are called full steps nickels. Having all 5 or 6 steps clearly struck indicates exceptional quality and precision, and such examples are rare because most coins from that year were weakly struck. If you happen to find a 1972 nickel with full steps, you may have something truly valuable in your hands. Even small differences in the sharpness of the design or the clarity of the lettering can drastically increase a coin's worth. For many collectors, finding a full steps nickel feels like discovering hidden treasure buried in everyday change. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark in 1972, is especially known for nickels with varying strike qualities. Some of these coins reveal faint doubling on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," which adds even more excitement to the hunt. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint, marked with a D, produced its own share of rarities. Certain 1972 D nickels have misaligned dies or slightly rotated designs, making them unusual and extremely collectible. Coin enthusiasts constantly search for these special variants. The San Francisco Mint, responsible for the proof coins marked with an S, also contributed to the 1972 nickel story. Proof versions are known for their mirror-like surfaces and deep, frosted designs. These coins were never meant for circulation but were sold to collectors in limited numbers, adding to their allure and long-term value. Over the decades, these nickels have gained admiration for their simple yet meaningful design. They represent a bridge between the early days of American coinage and modern minting techniques. Each one tells a part of Jefferson's story and America's evolution. As time passed, many 1972 nickels disappeared from circulation, tucked away in drawers, jars, or coin albums. But once rediscovered, some of these coins shocked collectors with their high-grade conditions and unique errors that commanded impressive prices at auctions. Coin experts and collectors agree that even a small imperfection, a double die, an off-center strike, or a full steps detail, can be the key that transforms an ordinary 5-cent piece into a rare collectible worth thousands. It's always fascinating to think that such coins still circulate today. You might receive one as change from a store or spot one in an old family collection, unaware that it could be worth far more than its face value. That's the thrill of coin collecting. History hiding in plain sight. If you come across a 1972 Jefferson nickel, take a closer look under good light, or with a magnifying glass. Check the mint mark, the steps of Monticello, and any signs of doubling or off-center strikes. You never know, your coin might be the rare find that collectors dream about. Every detail on this nickel, from Jefferson's thoughtful gaze to the graceful dome of Monticello, captures a chapter of American heritage. Holding it feels like holding a moment in time, a connection to history preserved in nickel and copper. What makes these coins so special is not just their rarity, but also the craftsmanship and precision that went into creating them. The beauty of the design continues to attract new generations of collectors who appreciate both its artistry and its potential value. So, next time you find a 1972 nickel, don't rush to spend it. Examine it carefully, because one small difference could mean a world of value. Many rare examples have been discovered accidentally by ordinary people who had no idea what they were holding. The 1972 Jefferson nickel proves that even the smallest coins can tell the biggest stories. Its legacy shines brighter each year as collectors and historians uncover more about its unique varieties and minting secrets. And now, here's the most exciting part. A rare and high-grade 1972 Jefferson nickel has been valued at an incredible $94,000. Top 2. We're diving into the fascinating world of the United States Jefferson nickels, focusing on a coin from 1991 that has amazed collectors and treasure hunters alike. The 1991 Jefferson 5-cent coin. The Jefferson nickel has been an American classic since 1938, representing not just Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, but also a deep connection to the nation's ideals of freedom, innovation, and discovery. By 1991, this iconic coin had already been in circulation for over half a century, yet it still carried the same charm and importance as when it was first minted. The obverse of the 1991 Jefferson nickel shows Jefferson's familiar portrait, facing left, designed by Felix Schlag. His calm expression and detailed features make the design both timeless and elegant. On the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's grand home in Virginia, stands proudly, capturing his love for architecture and his vision for America's progress. In 1991, these nickels were struck at two major U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver ones are marked with a bold D. Both mints produced millions of coins that year, but not all nickels were created equal. Some were struck so perfectly, or with such unusual errors, that they became extremely rare and valuable. Among collectors, the hunt for the perfect strike, especially those with the full steps, on Monticello, is what sets certain 1991 nickels apart. The steps on the reverse design are often weakly struck, but when all 5 or 6 are clearly visible, that coin immediately stands out as a prized find. These full steps coins show off the mint's precision and are highly sought after in the coin collecting world. Occasionally, 1991 nickels also display unique minting errors. Some coins were struck slightly off-center, creating an eye-catching shift in design. Others feature doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," or Monticello, making them even more interesting. These minting mistakes often happen in just a few coins, which is why they can be worth thousands. Over the years, the 1991 Jefferson nickel has earned a reputation as one of those coins that might surprise you. At first glance, it seems ordinary, something you'd find in your pocket change. But under the right lighting and magnification, it can reveal remarkable details that turn it into a collector's dream. Many people don't realize that the nickel's composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel has remained the same for decades. Yet the beauty of this coin lies not in its metal, but in its story, the history it represents, the errors it hides, and the rare conditions that make some examples incredibly valuable. Coin collectors often search for nickels that have been preserved in mint state condition. A 1991 Jefferson nickel in MS67 or higher grade, especially with full steps, can fetch extraordinary prices at auctions. Such coins are rare because most nickels circulated heavily, losing their sharp details and original luster. Each of these coins serves as a snapshot of American craftsmanship in the early 1990s, a time before advanced computer-guided minting became standard. The imperfections, variations, and hidden errors all add to the charm and mystery that collectors cherish. If you ever come across a 1991 nickel that looks a little different, take a moment to study it carefully. Is the design off-center? Are the letters doubled? Do you see all the steps on Monticello clearly? Each of these clues could mean your coin is worth far more than 5 cents. What makes the story of the 1991 nickel even more exciting is that most people overlook it. It's one of those coins still floating around in circulation, waiting to be discovered by someone observant enough to recognize its potential. The beauty of collecting coins like this is that you don't need to be an expert to start. Sometimes, the most valuable finds happen by accident, when someone notices something unusual in an everyday coin. That's how great discoveries begin. For example, there have been cases where rare 1991 nickels were found in simple coin rolls from banks or in pocket change, only to later sell for thousands once properly identified and graded. It's stories like these that keep collectors inspired to keep searching. The Jefferson nickel series is one of the most beloved in U.S. coinage history, and every year has its own surprises. The 1991 edition, with its mix of beautiful design, minting precision, and hidden errors, continues to capture the imagination of numismatists across the world. Even after more than 3 decades, these coins remain a symbol of America's history in metal, small, durable, and filled with stories that bridge generations. The thrill of holding one, examining its details, and wondering where it's been over the years makes coin collecting truly special. So, next time you come across a nickel from 1991, don't dismiss it too quickly. Give it a closer look. That small piece of metal might just be hiding a secret of extraordinary value. Many rare Jefferson nickels from this year have been found in mint condition or with rare errors, and some have reached unbelievable prices in coin auctions. That's why collectors never stop searching. Every coin holds a story, and some of those stories are worth a fortune. And now, the most amazing part. A rare and high-grade 1991 Jefferson nickel has been valued at an astonishing $57,000. Top 3. We're traveling back to the final year of the 20th century, the year 1999, to uncover the secrets behind a small but powerful piece of American history, the United States Jefferson nickel, the 5-cent coin that still surprises collectors today. The Jefferson nickel has long stood as a tribute to one of America's greatest founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. Since 1938, this coin has carried his image on the obverse and his beloved home, Monticello, on the reverse. It's a design that has remained iconic for generations, linking every American pocket to the country's rich history. By 1999, the world was preparing for a new millennium. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins, but among those billions, some stood out, not because of gold or silver, but because of something far more intriguing: perfection, rarity, and unexpected minting errors. These are the coins that collectors dream about finding. The 1999 Jefferson nickel was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint's coins carry the small D mark beside the portrait. Each mint struck millions, but subtle variations and rare minting errors from these batches are what makes certain 1999 nickels extremely valuable. When you look at a 1999 nickel, you'll see Jefferson's dignified face, designed by Felix Schlag, still as strong and timeless as ever. On the reverse, Monticello stands proudly, a symbol of Jefferson's creativity and intellect. But beneath this familiar design lie secrets that only careful eyes can spot. Some 1999 nickels show fascinating double-die errors, where parts of the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Monticello" appear slightly doubled. This doubling is not visible at first glance but becomes clear under magnification, turning an ordinary nickel into a rare and collectible treasure. Collectors also search for what are known as full steps, nickels. On Monticello, there are sets of steps leading to the entrance. When all 5 or 6 of these steps are sharply visible and fully separated, it means the coin was struck with exceptional precision. Such examples are rare, especially for the 1999 issue, and they command high prices at auctions. Over time, many nickels from this era lost their fine details due to circulation, scratches, and wear. That's why finding a 1999 Jefferson nickel in pristine, mid-state condition is such a remarkable discovery. Even more so when it has full steps or a unique minting flaw. Some coins from the Denver Mint that year were slightly off-center, showing part of the blank coin's edge or uneven spacing between the rim and design. These off-center errors are visually striking and have become favorites among collectors of modern U.S. coins. The Philadelphia Mint, on the other hand, produced a few proof-like nickels that were struck with sharper dies and smoother fields. These coins, though not officially proofs, stand out for their reflective shine and high-quality details, making them desirable pieces for serious numismatists. As we entered the year 2000, many people stored away their 1,999 nickels as keepsakes of the century's end. Decades later, these coins now hold nostalgic value and, in some cases, real monetary worth beyond imagination. Coin enthusiasts today love the 1999 Jefferson nickel for being part of the last chapter before the coin's design was changed in 2004 to honor the Lewis and Clark expedition. This makes the 1999 issue one of the final classic Jefferson nickels of the original Schlag design, a true piece of American numismatic heritage. Each of these coins tells a story, from the moment the die struck the metal, to the millions of hands that passed it along, and to the collectors who now search for the rarest and most flawless survivors. For those who know where to look, these nickels can reveal amazing surprises. A sharp eye and a good magnifying glass can expose doubling, misalignments, or extra metal lines that mark a valuable minting error. Even today, people still find 1999 Jefferson nickels in coin rolls or pocket change that turn out to be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars once certified by grading companies. It's living proof that treasure doesn't always sparkle in gold or silver. Sometimes, it hides in a simple 5-cent coin. The 1999 nickel carries not just value, but also emotion. It marks the end of a century and a design that defined generations. Holding one feels like holding a farewell to an era of American coin artistry. If you happen to find a 1999 nickel that looks unusually sharp, reflective, or slightly misaligned, don't ignore it. Examine it carefully. It might be one of those rare specimens that could change your understanding of what's in your pocket change. Collectors love to say that every Jefferson nickel has a soul, a story that lives on through time. The 1999 edition, with its rare minting errors and beautiful craftsmanship, perfectly represents that idea. And now, for the most exciting part of today's story, a rare, high-grade 1999 Jefferson nickel with perfect full steps and exceptional preservation has been valued at an astonishing $43,000. Top 4. We're going back to the mid-1990s to explore a small but remarkable piece of American history, the 1994 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that may look ordinary but can actually be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. The Jefferson nickel has been a symbol of American pride and tradition since it was first minted in 1938. Featuring the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his magnificent home, Monticello, on the reverse, it remains one of the most recognizable and enduring designs in U.S. coinage. By 1994, the nickel had already been in production for more than half a century, yet the story behind this particular year's issue is filled with fascinating details and hidden treasures. In 1994, the U.S. Mint struck Jefferson nickels at two major locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while those from the Denver Mint bear a small D beside Jefferson's bust. Millions were produced at both mints, but among these millions, a few coins emerged with features so rare and unique that they became valuable collector's items. The design, created by Felix Schlag, continued to capture Jefferson's thoughtful profile, representing leadership and intellect. On the reverse, the classic image of Monticello remained, a perfect tribute to Jefferson's vision of American architecture and innovation. But sometimes, even with such a consistent design, minting variations or errors create rare gems that stand out among billions of ordinary coins. Some 1994 Jefferson nickels are known for their full steps detail, a term used by collectors to describe coins where the steps on Monticello are perfectly visible and sharply defined. This level of detail is often lost during striking, but when a coin retains it, it signifies exceptional quality. These full-steps nickels are extremely rare, especially in near-perfect condition. Collectors also search for 1994 nickels that show doubling, where parts of the lettering, numbers, or Jefferson's features appear slightly duplicated. This doubling can happen due to a misalignment during the minting process, and it can make the coin far more valuable than its face value. Some errors from this year include off-center strikes and die cracks. These happen when the coin is struck incorrectly, leaving parts of the design missing or shifted. Instead of being discarded, a few of these coins entered circulation, and today they are considered prized rarities by numismatists. The composition of the 1994 nickel remained the same as previous years, 75% copper and 25% nickel. While the metal itself isn't precious, the true value comes from its rarity, its condition, and the fascinating history behind its production. Finding a 1994 Jefferson nickel in pristine, mid-state condition is becoming more difficult with each passing year. Most of these coins circulated heavily, suffering from scratches, fading, and worn-out details. That's why collectors treasure any high-grade examples they can find. When viewed under magnification, a well-preserved 1994 nickel reveals stunning artistry, from the texture of Jefferson's hair to the fine lines of Monticello's dome. Each detail reflects the care and craftsmanship of the minting process, making this coin a miniature work of art. The 1990s may not feel like ancient history, but coins from that era are now over 30 years old. Time has made them scarcer in perfect condition, and rare varieties from those years are already commanding impressive prices at coin shows and auctions. Coin collectors often talk about the thrill of discovery, the moment when a common coin turns out to be something extraordinary. That's exactly what makes the 1994 Jefferson nickel so special. It's still possible to find one in pocket change or in old jars at home, hiding its true worth in plain sight. Over the years, some 1994 Jefferson nickels have been certified by grading companies in grades like MS67 and higher, which is incredibly rare. Such coins, especially with full steps, have amazed collectors and investors with their beauty and market value. If you ever come across a shiny 1994 nickel, take a close look at the steps on Monticello, the letters, and the mint mark. Even the smallest variation or extra detail could make a huge difference in value. A single coin can turn out to be worth more than anyone would expect. The Jefferson nickel series has become a cornerstone of American coin collecting because of its long history and the endless discoveries it offers. Every year's issue has its secrets, and 1994 is no exception. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that it represents a bridge between the old and the new, the final years before major design changes came in the early 2000s. It's a coin that connects generations, linking the classic era of U.S. coinage with modern times. Even today, collectors around the world hunt for era nickels and full steps examples from 1994. Some of these coins have sold for unbelievable amounts, proving that even modern-era nickels can hold great value when preserved well. So before you spend that nickel, take a second look. Examine it closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. You might be holding a small but valuable piece of American history. The 1994 Jefferson nickel stands as proof that treasures can hide in the simplest places, in your change, your drawers, or your family's old collection. All it takes is curiosity and a little attention to uncover them. And now comes the most exciting part. A rare, high-grade 1994 Jefferson nickel with exceptional strike quality and full steps has been valued at an impressive $53,000. Top 5. We travel back to the year 1987, a time when the world was changing fast, but the humble Jefferson nickel continued to stand strong as one of America's most reliable and beloved coins. The 1987 Jefferson 5-cent piece might look ordinary, but hidden among millions are a few that could be worth a small fortune. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of American life since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, it beautifully captures the image of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home, Monticello, on the back. For nearly 50 years, this design remained a symbol of tradition, history, and national pride. By 1987, the coin had already become a classic, but that year's minting brought some unique variations that caught the attention of collectors. In 1987, The U.S. Mint struck these nickels at two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia nickels were produced without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins carry a small D to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Both mints made millions of coins, but a few of them turned out to be truly extraordinary. At first glance, the 1987 nickel doesn't appear much different from other years. But under closer inspection, subtle details make some examples special. The artistry of Jefferson's profile, the fine lettering, and the elegance of Monticello's architecture all come together to form a timeless design, and sometimes, a rare treasure point. One of the biggest features collectors look for in a 1987 Jefferson nickel is the full steps designation. On the back of the coin, Monticello's front porch has steps leading up to the entrance. When all 5 or 6 steps are clearly defined and separate, it indicates an exceptionally sharp strike. These full steps nickels are very rare and extremely valuable because they reflect near-perfect minting. Over the years, most of the 1987 nickels entered circulation and suffered from wear and tear. That's why finding one in mint-state condition, with its original shine and fine details intact, is so exciting for coin enthusiasts. A perfect 1987 nickel is not just a coin, it's a preserved piece of history. Some 1987 nickels also stand out because of minting errors. There are reports of coins struck slightly off-center, with misaligned dies, or with faint doubling in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "E Pluribus Unum." These small imperfections were created by minting machinery during high-speed production, and they make the coins far more desirable today. Another variation comes from die deterioration, where the details of Jefferson's hair or Monticello's steps look slightly blurred. While most collectors avoid worn dies, some unusual examples show patterns and textures that make them visually unique and interesting. The coin's composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, has remained unchanged for decades. Though it doesn't contain precious metal, its beauty and rarity are what make it truly valuable. The metallic luster of a fresh 1987 nickel still shines just as brightly today as it did more than 3 decades ago. Collectors also appreciate the 1987 nickel for being part of a transitional period in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was beginning to improve technology and coin striking methods, yet some of the best and worst errors happened during these years, creating fascinating varieties that tell stories of minting evolution. Finding a high-grade 1987 Jefferson nickel can be a challenge. Most of them circulated for years, lost their fine details, or developed scratches and dull finishes. But for those lucky enough to uncover one that survived untouched, the reward can be tremendous. Many coin hunters still search coin rolls and old collections hoping to find a hidden 1987 gem. It's this sense of discovery, the possibility of finding value where others see none, that keeps the world of coin collecting so thrilling. Some collectors have even reported finding beautifully preserved 1987 nickels in old coin jars, estate sales, or inherited collections. These unexpected discoveries often lead to valuable surprises once the coins are graded by professionals. When a 1987 nickel is graded by PCGS or NGC as mint state 67 or higher, especially with full steps, it becomes a prized rarity. Only a handful of such examples are known, and they've reached impressive prices at coin auctions. What's truly fascinating is that these coins continue to circulate quietly across the country. You might receive one as change and never realize it could be worth thousands. That's the mystery and magic behind the Jefferson nickel, a symbol of everyday value hiding extraordinary potential. Every Jefferson nickel carries a legacy, the story of Jefferson's ideals, American history, and decades of minting excellence. The 1987 issue, in particular, reminds us that beauty and worth often hide in plain sight. If you have old nickels in your possession, it's always worth taking a closer look. Examine the mint mark, check the steps on Monticello, and look for doubling or off-center designs. What might seem like a common coin could turn out to be something very rare. Collectors around the world continue to chase after the 1987 Jefferson nickel for its remarkable condition, scarcity, and historical charm. It's a coin that connects past generations of collectors to new ones, proof that even modern coins can hold incredible value. And now, for the most thrilling part of our story, a rare, high-grade 1987 Jefferson nickel with perfect full steps and pristine condition has been valued at an astounding $86,000.